Hey guys, holy fuck, Calgary's nuts when there's a first snowfall. Fuck, well, it's not. It's the first bad snowfall, but yeah, there's Calgary's. It's scary. There's a lot of people that probably fuck first time they're seeing snow. Actually, there's a lot of people who come like. I think there's a lot of development and immigration and stuff. This could be fucking terrifying. I guess I should be like I'm the nice guy on the road helping people when I can and shit, and like I don't mind being a dick to the guy behind me if it helps the person in front of me. But not being a dick, but like I don't know. I like helping people, so when I'm driving, it gives me a lot of opportunity to do so too. I wanted to share, of course, I'm gonna probably start bitching about recovery, right? But I don't know, most people don't think it's fucking a big deal. But so what I'm uncovering, I've been at this for a long time trying to figure out where the fuck is all this misinformation coming from? Where, like, ignorance of humans it never surprises me. But I'm like, who's benefiting from this? Because there's a lot of effort. And there's a lot of daily effort put in by people who go to these rooms every day. And when if you're not associated to these treatment centers anymore, like if you're pushing the narrative that was pushed on you and you're not even associated with these centers, I think it's just the human's inability to want to admit fault, because like the more that people hear about the traditions, there's no way they don't click the dots that the narcissistic version of the traditions that our treatment centers are pushing. There's no way you can't click the dots that they are the literal opposite of what they're meant to do. They have to be. The treatment centers, the way that they've raped the traditions into self, like, is because they're breaking all of them by using the steps, using the format of these 12-step programs. And it's all about repeat business. They say the greatest trick the devil ever did was convince the world he doesn't exist. You hear a lot of these people pushing this fucking retarded narrative. Yeah, sure, God and higher power. But when people do nothing but like force the idea of God in like 90% of their share, I know they're working for a treatment center. They're utilizing higher power and God and shit into the confusion narrative, into the confusion aspect. Because it doesn't matter what topic, people will flow into God and they will just blanket statement everything into selfishness. You guys have, like, you don't hear about anybody talk about the devil in recovery. Well, no, there is one guy. He's awesome. He's like me. He goes up against the bullshit. And he believes he highly believes in a creator. And he talks about like devil and like the evil and shit. But you don't hear about that from these people pushing this higher power narrative. And don't get me wrong, it is part of the 12 steps, is finding a power greater than yourself. But holy fuck. It's getting uncomfortable for a lot of people. I have a lot of people trying to convince me, and what they're doing this has been happening for years though. When people are doing that, when they're trying to convince me of their idea not being what I am trying to bring awareness to, I'm not saying that you specifically are trying to hurt recovery. It's everyone has been manipulated into hurting recovery. Calgary has the weakest recovery I've ever fucking seen. It does. Like, when I first came here last year, I was disgusted when I first came back to Calgary and I was checking out the meetings. Like, when I was on the streets here, I wasn't going to meetings. It would have been depressing. Like, I thought Red Deer was fucking unbelievably retardedly small for their rooms of recovery compared to how much addiction is widespread and opened on those streets. It's bad. But I would associate it with the rest of recovery that I've witnessed, like in other towns, other cities. You know, the further you get away from these treatment center complexes, there's still recovery kind of happening. It's just the narrative that's being pushed doesn't make fucking sense. It's what tipped me off, is like, it doesn't have this structure elsewhere in the province. If you're far away from big cities and treatment centers, people still push the retarded bullshit, but it doesn't fucking make any sense. There's nothing for it to link to. So now that I've come down and I've seen it around the treatment centers, I understand how it's being confused. It's still disgusting, narcissistic, unbelievably dipshit bullshit. But I understand how people are getting that misinformation now, because there's no such thing as one addict helping another here. So it is all treatment center narrative. You go to smaller towns and they have to push that. They have to push that bullshit. Somebody just said, hey, what's up? I don't know if they need a ride or something to a meeting, but the roads are fucked and I'm doing this, so I'm gonna message later. Yeah, it's, whether you guys know it or not, like, everybody knows that it's wrong. Like, the traditions, if you're in recovery and you're not taking part in a home group, don't worry about the traditions. If you're in recovery and you're not trying to push your idea on other people, don't worry about the traditions. If you have a personal selfish ideology that has been pushed onto you because of other people, but you're not pushing it onto other people, whatever. Do whatever the fuck you think you should do. Just do you if you have to. There's nothing that says you have to do anything. But when we are collaborating in those rooms together, the traditions are 12 rules each home group has to follow if you want to identify as any of those 12-step programs. There are 12 fucking rules your home group has to follow. They have nothing to do with your personal recovery. To collaborate in a room for selfishness is fucking retarded. And to collaborate in a room and force selfish ideologies is evil. That's why I freak out. That's why I've left many meetings and calling people fucking idiots. Because I'm aware. And then the people who are full on bluntly saying it are people working for these treatment center complexes and or on the board of trustees or whatever the fuck it's called when they're financially tied to that treatment center. Recovery was about one addict helping another. They realized, even in AA, when they tried to get people to, when they were gonna pay people to teach the 12 steps, they realized soon that if you add a financial incentive onto recovery, nobody will do anything unless they're getting paid. And that destroys the purpose. Fuck. This is bad. Why are my brakes so shit in this? I need to get better tires. Yeah. And if the moment that you start adding a financial incentive on it, you erase people's want to help out of just the kindness of their heart. And that's why I won't monetize my content, not Facebook anyways. And like, I won't. Facebook wants to pay me because like I'm a content creator. I create a lot of content, and I utilize the technologies, but I also utilize the technologies to help me find truth. So if you're wondering why, if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, you pull out Grok or ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you have to really direct it to be truth seeking. Grok is going to try and be truth seeking just naturally. Pull out an AI tool and just ask it to use the information. Yeah, so Grok, you don't have to ask. ChatGPT, ask it to use the information from AA.org and all the literature. And ask it what the traditions are. And then ask it why each one of them was created. And what the struggles they went through for it to be created. And doing so, you will learn you could learn in 20 minutes. But if you really want to dig deep, this is an easy way to do it, and a fast way to do it. In a couple hours, you will learn how everything I've been saying for 13 fucking years, not everything's on point. I've had to learn and understand that, like, my idea that we are destroyed, like, my idea that people are profiting off of recovery, and I didn't know that for a long time. I just thought people were fucking toxic, manipulative, lazy monsters. I didn't know there was this big picture thing up in Grand Prairie. Anyways, before I trailed into that, yeah, pull out Grok and fucking just ask it what the traditions are in 12-step programs. It will tell you. And then if you have kids, ask your child what they think the 5th tradition would mean. And it will tell you. Or they will tell you. And if you're a big book thumper, you're either a monster or you're fucking retarded. Because pull out chapter 7 and read it again, you dipshit. Yeah, it's really fucked up. I'm not going to stop. I said at a meeting, like, so I went to, there's a tradition, they do tradition studies at these meetings, and they're just meant for manipulation. There's tradition studies in this fucking city, and it is 100% people profiting off of recovery, pushing this fucking bullshit, 'cause nobody has any fucking clue what they are. They're very important. People, they ask me all the time, they're like, why does it matter to you? I'm like, it should fucking matter to you. It fucking makes me so mad. People, like, you know what? If you were an idiot who didn't give a fuck and you were just trying to live life all, you know, happy and, like, ignorant in the sense of the actual definition, where it's, like, stupid and unknowing, you know, you're ignorant to the information, not the idea of ignorant where it seems like you're rude. If you are ignorant to the information and you're just living recovery and you just want to, you know, live a different life, whatever. The problem about recovery is everybody in it wants to act and sound like they know what the fuck they're talking about. So what that does is create people to try and dick swing information, and none of you give a fuck about it. You just want to appear like you know it. So those two things don't mix. If you don't care about the information, then shut the fuck up. If you don't want to learn about the truth, then shut the fuck up. But when you're pushing disinformation because of your financial agenda, and using God, that is the most narcissistic fucking bullshit I've ever heard in my life. And we're causing narcissism to spread mass spread narcissism. We're causing addiction to multiply by destroying the one thing that used to help it, and now we're actually taking part in making it worse. Recovery is taking part in making addiction worse. It's institutionalizing people. It's causing a fucking repeat business of people not getting their lives together. They're just in the treatment center complex and then back to the streets. One addict helping another. used to be the only thing that worked. It's not the steps saved my life. You don't spend 40 years of your life repeating the same simple bullshit. It drove me nuts, but now I realize there's a fucking financial incentive behind your guys' manipulation, so of course you're gonna spend 40 fucking years going to those rooms to ensuring recovery dies. It doesn't look like it because recovery capital of Canada. This is the worst fucking recovery I've ever seen. The least amount of numbers. You take treatment center away and the people working for it, and there's nobody in the rooms. You got maybe 2 or 3 people on any given meeting. And the meetings that try and stay away from treatment centers, they don't want treatment center people there. Those are some struggling ass meetings in one of the highest populated fucking cities in this province. That's what tipped me off coming to Calgary. The biggest thing is like, I was coming from a small city, and the small city it has less meetings, but the population's easily twice as much, with a city that doesn't even have a fraction of the fucking population. The treatment center complex is killing recovery. It's doubling the homeless population. They're all tied into each other. Fuck. I don't even know if I should be going to a fucking meeting downtown. This is fucking taking forever. Well, I don't know. I'm working in it, I guess. I said at that meeting that I'm gonna fucking... AA is gonna sue Calgary into the fucking ground. I'm not gonna stop until it does. I'm not gonna stop until something drastic happens. Awareness is one thing, but these people that are caught in these fucking... Everybody gets caught in this trap, and then once you believe in a prepackaged set of ideas, you don't want to hear the truth because you just want to sound like you know what you're talking about, and you don't actually want to grow and learn. Recovery is not... Like, the format of recovery doesn't exist. Your higher powers are full of shit. God wasn't an excuse to do fuck all. God wasn't a way to manipulate people. That's not what the purpose of the fucking higher power in recovery is. It's not an easy way to make people not understand. That's what people use it for. People use it to help, or to control people. They're using it to control the information of people. They're using it to make people ignorant, complacent, and okay with being so. But still act as if you guys know what you're talking about. You all sound like you have this big fucking important message, and it's all manipulative bullshit. There's no message in your guys' shares other than selfishness. It's selfishness masked as higher power. It's fucking disgusting. I hate when people talk about God in the fucking rooms. Like, if you guys understood what's coming out of your face, you're going to hell. Like, if you truly believe in your higher power, but everybody just choose, like, they don't even have a higher power. Most people don't. They just fucking say it to fit in. It's all about fitting in, and the problem with fucking Calgary, like, you guys are all a bunch of sheep, but there's a financial agenda leading this fucking brigade of sheep. And it's fucking disgusting. I don't care. You know what? I'm not here to make friends. People hate me. Good. People hate what I share. Better. That means you hear it. That means you understand it. That means you, one of two things. Either you're catching on that you're a dipshit and you need to change what you're doing, or you're part of that financial incentive and you should fucking hang yourself. Anybody working for a treatment center, if you've been manipulated into the structure, I'm sorry that we let it get so far. On behalf of the 12-step programs, I'm really sorry that we let it get this far away and detached from its purpose. I truly am. And I'm sorry that you got manipulated into what you're doing. And if you feel trapped, I'm really sorry. Because I won't stop until every one of you lose your job. it's fraudulent activity, like 100% fraudulent activity. And those who understand what they are doing, you guys should hang yourself before you go to jail, but I won't stop till you guys get sued to the ground. What is it? For the copyright shit, it was like $500,000 fine or 5 years in jail or something. Every one of you deserve that shit. But it's such a big, this goes fucking far up the line. The drug court's tied into it. People are getting threatened with 10 years, and it's threatened. You're not going to jail for 10 years for whatever fucking retarded, pathetic little thing you did. Because you're not fucking gangsters. You're not fucking thugs. Fucking housewives with a drug issue and shit like that. Like, whatever, the people who are actually criminals have actual criminal charge. Like, they're not just fucking in the rooms with, oh, I was getting threatened 10 years, so instead I did 3 months of treatment. So everything's tied together in this giant fucking manipulation. There's so much money. There's hundreds of billions that go into this. Tens of billions a year. If you're wondering why you were getting, if you're wondering it was when they first told you you're looking at 5 or 10 years, and you're like, what the fuck for that? There's a purpose behind that. Because they're trying to scare you into taking that deal of fucking treatment recovery. They're all tied into it. The homeless industrial complex, the drug court treatment, the drug court incentivized into treatment complex, it's all tied to each other. I don't know what to do to help that, but I do know you guys are fraudulently you're abusing. It's almost thank fuck that you guys are fucking up the 12-step programs, because at least they have a legal structure that you guys are breaking, and that we can do something about it, and I will. It's in that book. It's in the 12 and 12. They say, oh, read the 12 and 12 traditions. Just read the long form. The manipulation they use, that's just Bill W. loves to write shit. He just wanted to keep writing, and he wanted to write more about his experience. He fell in love with producing literature. He got addicted to sharing with the world his idea. He got addicted to wanting to evolve his idea. I'm just gonna keep going and going and going on this fucking. It's taken forever to get to this meeting, but yeah, Bill W. fell in love with writing literature, and the 12 and 12 is actually like, because the traditions got stretched out, they're able to manipulate. They're not easy to manipulate. It takes a lot of fucking effort from these fucking toxic pieces of shit, but they still do it because of how much he wrote on each one of them. But they're actually still on point for the actual purpose behind them. It's just the reason you hear people do tiny little snippets of information from the big book, and then a huge fucking chunk of personal interpretation on it, is because it's manipulation. And that's what people do with the 12 and 12. I can only assume. Like, my stays in treatment centers got fucking shorter and shorter because my awareness of recovery kept increasing. I didn't even know I was pissing off the treatment centers when I would be sharing actual recovery information to people, because it would go against their intention. The moment that, so in a treatment center, tradition 3, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop. I go to a treatment center, you guys is fucking saving grace, fucking, I don't know, oh, the 12 steps are about what this treatment center is forcing on me. I got to do the steps in fucking less than a month. That, fuck. Bill W. would just, he would be the next, he would be the guy in a fucking tower and just start shooting people because of what you guys did to his baby. He'd be one of those mass murderers because he'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And just start killing people. Although, mind you, that's probably not what he would do, but my version of him, that's what would happen. Sit there and just peg all you toxic fucking idiots off. But the treatment centers, they have a narrative, and I don't fit in that narrative. So they decide that I don't fit in recovery. Many of them have wanted me to relapse. Many of them have passively aggressively kicked me out and tried to kickstart my anger, tried to like kickstart my relapse by passively aggressively saying shit with a snide attitude, like, well, just remember, don't relapse, but get the fuck out. Like, the way that they say it it was very clearly obvious, but it backfired on them because I'm fucking just to arrogantly throw it back in their face. I didn't relapse a bunch of times, getting kicked out. I'm like, fuck you guys, I know what you want. You want me to relapse because I am not I won't fall into your manipulative structure. You need me to relapse. You need me to relapse. That's what recovery is. They're picking and choosing. And if you aren't dumb enough to fall for their bullshit, or if you have, it just goes down to how aware is your mind. There's not many minds like mine, but it's not just one. So there are other people who don't fit in this structure because their mind just is able to connect dots to us. Seems very fucking obvious. It seems really obvious. It seems like, second nature that toxic selfishness and the attempt of selflessness of one addict helping another being crammed into the same structure makes my mind fucking like Tasmanian devil inside of itself. Like, what the fuck did they just say? Because that combats literally every other thing that they fucking trick people into these rooms with. The moment that you the incentive is to act as if we're being helpful, and then the moment they get people in there, it's nothing but manipulating people into toxic, selfish, narcissistic behaviors that are the exact opposite of what recovery is supposed to be. Literal opposite of what recovery is. The only way that we are able to ensure our recovery and ensure that we don't become selfish, toxic pieces of shit is to get outside of self and the rest of our lives try to help addicts. That's the structure. And the primary purpose of the fifth tradition, the reason for that is because they realize that, this is all through our hard-won experience. It says in the NA literature of the traditions. However, another little side note, that fucking, the one that I was calling a bunch of goofs, Serenity Sunday? Yeah, fuck you guys, I don't care. I'm the only one that has to practice the traditions. Go fuck yourselves. Everybody wants to use them for, it's nothing but selfish, toxic, fucking narcissistic bullshit that the traditions are being used for. So fuck you guys. Serenity Sunday, these dipshits. But it's not just them. This happened in Grand Prairie too. The law, the traditions be read at NA, Narcotics Anonymous, and then people will cross out the rest of it because it's actually explaining what they are. It's explaining why they are. These traditions were formulated through our hard-won experience our predecessors had to face. That part gets crossed out in NA. Up in Grand Prairie, it was crossed out, and I'm like, I wondered why. I'm like, why is this crossed out? And they, and it's by this tiny little pen. It wasn't blacked out because people would have caught the person doing it. They've been like, what the fuck are you doing? But it gets crossed out, and then because only my mind wonders why. Nobody else. I do understand though. I assumed somebody the home group decided that we're not gonna fucking read that part because it takes up too much time. That was my first initial thought. So it got crossed out. But when I thought about it a little bit more, I'm like, we're a little more official than that, than a tiny little fucking pen crossing it out. And then I thought about it a little more. Well, why is it just a tiny little pen? Why didn't they, like, ink out the whole thing? Eventually, sometimes that happens. But why not just reprint a new fucking... Just literally take 2 seconds, or, well, take 3 minutes and print off a new one. So it doesn't look fucking stupid on the back when you flip it over, and it's like, okay, well, there's some information that way. And then, like, the idea is because it's too long. That's what people are going to assume. But then you hear people read like 12 minutes of retarded bullshit that has nothing to do with... It's not that it has nothing to do with anything, but it's just like it doesn't line up. We cross out a very important thing of the traditions, because the traditions are extremely important. They're the only thing that's fucking... everything is misinterpreted. Because now it's all selfish, which is ass fucking backwards. But yeah, that tiny little pen that crosses it out that says, these traditions were formulated through a hard-won experience our predecessors had to face. That means that, and they're talking about AA, their predecessors, because with the permission of AA, they adopted those traditions because they worked. They realized the hard-won experience our predecessors had to face. The traditions were created after the steps were widespread. The AA grapevine was already worldwide. The worldwide newspaper advertisement for recovery, worldwide newspaper advertisement that is still very active today, was widespread before the traditions were created, because the traditions were first actually published in the grapevine. That was the first place they got put out, because the first edition of the big book of AA didn't have them in it. The second edition, they got put in the back. That's why they are in the back, and that's not why they're like not in the like the stories and like the development of the very beginning, because when it was just a handful of people, they didn't know they needed 12 rules for the home groups. They couldn't possibly predict the toxic, narcissistic, selfish bullshit that would happen when you collaborate humans together in a room. However, after they figured that out, after the rooms were widespread and people started being narcissistic dipshits like today's recovery, without those traditions, the reason for those traditions, we are proving again the very fucking fact for their need. And nobody knows them. They're there. We hand around the 7th tradition plate, like they're fucking there. It's very important. But we hand around this tradition, the 7th tradition plate, that is, each AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. This keeps us free of outside influence dictating recovery. That was the reason for Tradition 7. They actually through the hard-won experience, every one of these traditions were created through a trial and error process. Very much error process. And now today, people whether you think it's just to help, because there was a guy that come up to me yesterday and he's like, yeah, but man, I'm not like, he's like, I use that to help my sponsees, the narcissistic bullshit from what he got taught in a treatment center. There's no way he come up with this shit on his own. Either his sponsor, if he wasn't in a treatment center and adopted this toxic narcissistic bullshit, either his sponsor showed him or he adopted it from a treatment center and he actually believes it's helpful, but it's not. It causes narcissistic behaviors. It takes the traditions and it forces people to believe they're about self, which is the literal opposite of what the fuck they are. That is, you couldn't get a more backwards version of them than that. And whether you think that they can coincide with the real actual traditions and their purpose behind it or not, you're fucking wrong. They can't coincide with it, because it's just disinformation you are forcing on the world. People don't give a fuck about the traditions, but they'll go to those rooms and they'll talk out their ass like they fucking know what they're talking about. And they sound like, oh shit, that guy really knows recovery. He knows the traditions. That's where we're all fucking confused, but this guy really knows what the traditions are. So it's the biggest fucking, you know, it's monstrosity in the rooms. A guy come from Edmonton, and he's this traditions guy. I don't care. I'll break all of your fucking anonymity, because every fucking one of you dipshits that work for a center is breaking mine and all the people that you are you're the correctional officer of the people that you're in the fucking rooms with. They can't have a meeting because they're sucking your cock. They're literally sucking the cock of the format of the treatment center. I hear anxiety in their voice. It's like there's a fucking foot on their throat when they're trying to share, because they're actually decent people, but then they're this manipulated fucking retard when you assholes are in those fucking rooms breaking our fucking anonymity, and there's probably 12 of you in this fucking meeting I'm going to right now. I don't give a shit. This fucking loser from Edmonton. I thought that finally my sponsor, maybe he could be my fucking sponsor, and he's a fucking narcissist from Edmonton coming here to a meeting where, like, the traditions is where traditions go to die, and there's they have like 5 meetings a day, and it's where traditions go to die, because they talk about traditions in almost every fucking meeting. Not when I'm there, though. People shut the fuck up when I'm there, because they do know that I know. So this guy shows up, and I think he's just like this amazing fucking person. I was like, finally, somebody in recovery knows the traditions. Everybody knew him for the guy who knows the traditions. He's on next level recovery. His recovery is the strongest. He's a fucking superstar. And he had the worst, most toxic bullshit I've ever fucking heard come out of one person. And he's spreading that to the world. Those people, if I were in addiction, I'd be in jail, because, like, I never wanted to hurt people. I wanted to make sure that nobody else got hurt, and I would hurt people if that was the case, to protect somebody else. So if I was still in addiction, to protect the rest of the addicts, the still suffering, the people that we are ensuring never find recovery because of the fucking financial incentive of the big corporations that you guys are all feeding, I would shoot every fucking one of you that manipulate the traditions. Because that's where that was the one thing they needed to, that was the main thing they needed to manipulate and change. Because that was the one thing that protects against your fucking retarded bullshit. It's the structure behind recovery, and nobody fucking knows what it is. I knew you guys were all wrong and full of shit the moment I come to the rooms. I just didn't know how or why, because of the constant manipulation of the traditions. So I'm going in here, and I'll guarantee you there's at least 3 people working for a center, breaking my anonymity, breaking the anonymity of everyone else, pushing a financial agenda. Actually, not even pushing a financial agenda. The agenda is to kill recovery. The agenda is to ensure one addict helping another is non-existent. That is literally the only agenda of these fucking monsters, is just to kill one addict helping another. Like, people with years. And if you're going to these rooms and you're not part of that financial incentive, you're not part of this industrial complex of treatment centers and homeless, like, convincing the world that recovery is retarded, really. You're killing recovery. If you are not one of these people that are intentionally doing this for your financial incentive, then you're just a fucking dipshit, and you should still go and hang yourself, because you have zero ability to actually do step 10. Admit when you're wrong. There's no way you can go to those rooms every day of your life and not catch on a little bit. I caught on my first fucking year, you fucking idiots. Fuck, I hate yous. I hate almost fucking all of you.
Do you know this gentleman that's with you? Or